We present now. Okay. In the last class, we discussed about the digital links. So that is being used in fiber optical communications, right? So in this class, we'll study about the digital links. So this is chapter 8 in Tracer textbook, where here we discuss majorly about how they will be examining the components that are available for any application, for example, and how they are going to relate to each other, and how its performance in maybe in terms of dispersion or bit error rate, how it is going to, what are the performance criteria, just like your dispersion, bit error rate, all these things we'll see. Then we will see at the later line coding, which you have already think I will studied in digital communication, line coding.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is RZ, NRZ. Then what else?
Sir, Manchester polar coding.
Sorry,
Sir, Manchester coding, polar coding.
Bit Manchester, all these things. Yes, very good. So then I need not to go ahead with that. And your probability of error detector, error correction, that is the advantage, yeah, with respect to here in the digital communication, we can check or we can see what is the probability of error that is going to occur, and also we can make some steps so that we can minimize, and in few cases even we can do corrections also. Okay, so basically in general optical system, we design major consideration that we look into is transmission characteristics of fiber. So we majorly look into the transmission characteristics of the fiber, that is the attenuation and dispersion. Okay. Then information transfer capability of the fiber. As you all know, what is the information transmission capability of the fiber? Because even though it has got a larger bandwidth, so for which application you are using, and the type of fibers you are being used, and what is its capability, that you will be knowing. You will study, and later on you will be studying about terminal equipment and the technology. That means the what is the terminal equipment? Which we call it as a terminal equipment. In this diagram itself tells you, see, terminal and equipment, terminal equipment. In between, we are using many repeaters. So, in a long distance communication system, we make use of many repeaters in between. Okay, that is what the terminal equipment means. Next is the distance of transmission. If it is a smaller distance, then directly we can connect the terminal equipment to the terminal equipment. But if at all, if there is a larger distance, because as you all know, generally these fiber optic cables, these are being used for longer distance communication, since it has got its higher capability in transferring capability, data handling capability. So hence, here you can see in this diagram where here you can it shows that you will be using repeaters in between. Why we use repeaters in between?
Sir, signal loss na prevent ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ like we use transceivers and stuff, sir. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ we can generate the signal,
Okay,
lost signal.
fine. Repeater is just like your amplifier in your regular communications, right? So it is just as same as that. Okay, fine. Next, here repeater, here it generates the original data before it is retransmitted as a digital optical signal. That means at the repeater, what it does, it enhances, it regenerates. That is what it is. A regenerate. That is, it is going to amplify the signal so that it will be. Sorry, excuse me. So that it attains the originality of the signal before it is transmitted further. So the cost of the system and complexity increases because of installation of repeaters, as you all know. So that is there. But in order to achieve uh, original data, that is, in order to have the same signal throughout, you need to go with the installation of the repeaters. Generally, our optical communication system, many times we have studied about the block diagram and we all know this, but anyhow, sorry, due to mentioned in this textbook, I'll go through this. So this an general optical communication, it is called the basic request specifications. The one is transmission type, whether it is analog or digital. Already we have discussed analog, so now we are discussing digital. System fidelity, that is, you will be studying the signal to noise ratio, bit error ratio, you will be looking into required transmission band. What is the bandwidth required? Acceptable repeater spacing. So what should be the where we need to place the repeater so that we can have the original data or which is going to regenerate the signal in its original form. That is what your acceptable repeater spacing. Cost of the system, we need to see cost also, because any technology that needs to be implemented, when we need to look into the cost, okay, and reliability, cost of maintenance, all these are the things which we need to multiplexing. So you know about TDM, FDM, and WDM, ESDM. This all we have this. So again, we won't go through this. In system architecture, okay, we mainly look into with the perspective of architecture point. This optical communication, basically it is classified into three major categories. One is point-to-point link. Next one is distributed networks, and finally, third one is local area network. So let us consider point-to-point links. So what is a point-to-point link? So as you all know, it is the simplest form. Point-to-point one comprises of, as the name itself is, point-to-point. So one source to destination. That is, one transmitter it will have and it will have a receiver. Receiver. It is a point-to-point. So this is the simplest form. In a computer networks you have designed, right? You'll be taking one computer or one laptop or any PC, something like that, and on the other side also you will be connecting those two using a switch. Okay, that is a simple form, right? And later on you will be seeing how data is going to flow from one system to the other system, how your information initially checks, and finally if you go for a simulation mode, then you will be able to see, right? Already you have seen. So similarly it is also a point to point, right? It is also in the same way. And for analyzing the performance of this, see, for example, here you will be seeing a point to point. Here you will be having a transmitter and a receiver. So if it is a long distance, then you will be placing regenerator. As I already discussed here, the repeater spacing based upon the distance and the signal type, you will be making use of regenerator at suitable distances, so that the information retains in its original form, similar to its original form. Fine. So for analyzing the performance of link, basically these three things: the distance of desired transmission distance, or we can say it is a distance of transmission. What is the distance? First, we need to know what is the channel data rate, what is the bit data rate. So these three basic things we look into and we analyze the link. Okay, in order to fulfill these requirements, we have got many components, right? For example, you can go with a multi-mode or single mode optical fiber. Single mode optical fiber, or even you can go with LED or laser diode optical source, and pin or photo avalanche photodiode. Fine. Here you will have a information source in the transmitter information source. So the source will be connected to this optical transmitter. Here it is a optical fiber. In between, we will be placing a regenerators, and after this regenerator, you will be having a receiver. Once the receiver, again further it is decoded into a pin or avalanche diode. Okay, where in each stage, for example, if you consider a multi-mode or single mode optical fiber, single mode or optical fiber, yes, here the system consider. So we need to see one second. This is all depends on the already we have discussed. Two important analysis for deciding performance of any optical fiber. They are link power budget and power budget race rate. This we will go through later. These things I'll tell you little later. After telling you what is a link power budget, that is this. We have a block diagram. At that time I will explain this. Now, before that, I'll tell you, you will be having a multi-mode or single mode, right? So there, what are the factors that we need to look into? For example, you need to look into the core size. Then we have to see what is the core refractive index profile, what is the bandwidth, or what is the dispersion that is taking place, what is the attenuation, what is the numerical aperture, or what is the mode field diameter. Okay, so like this, you have to see about this multi-mode or single mode application. Next comes your LED. So now we are used thought of what is the fiber that we are going to use, whether it's single mode or multi-mode. And here we need to think of the source. What kind of source we are using? So whether it is a LED or the laser diode that you using. So even though you have considered either LED or laser diode, there again you need to think of what is the wavelength, what is the emission wavelength that we need to look into, what is the spectral line width of the signal, what will be the output or optical output power. So we need to see so many parameters before selecting a system. Okay, maybe it's analog system or a digital system. We need to look into all these basic things. So this holds good even for where analog signals also. So where you will be checking out what is the bandwidth, oh, sorry, what is the optical power that is we need? What is the effective radiating area? So even though you have taken a fiber, so you will not be having a entire radiating area. So what is the effective radiating area? What is the emission pattern? What would be the pattern, emission pattern? What how many number of emitting modes we need? All this is in the source we need to think. So when we come, we decided what is the fiber, what is the source, then we need to look into the receiver part. Receiver part, whether what is the thing we are going, whether we are using pin photodiode or avalanche photodiode. So like this, you need to think of because every system it requires a different type of detectors, right? So that it is there here. I'll tell you. So while selecting a photo detector, these parameters need to be considered. So, what is the minimal power that must fall on the photo detector? Because you need to have, well, you should know what is the output power that falls on the photo detector, so that it can satisfy bit error rate at a specific data rate. Next, complexity of the circuit will be cost of the design and bias requirements. So next in this next thing, you will be looking at the speed. What would be the speed? What would be the sensitivity? What is the responsivity? What is the operating wavelength at the pin photodiode or are we using the photodiode? So with respect to the system, this already I think I already told you. signal dispersion data rate, six optical source. While using optical source, emission bandwidth, all these things. So the last is a single mode or multi mode. This also I have told. Okay. So in the numerical aperture, see as the numerical aperture increases, the fiber coupled power it also increases. Also the dispersion also. So you need to look into attenuation characteristics. You need to see environmental induced losses. That is due to temperature variation, moisture, dust, etc. So like this, there are many factors which we need to look into while considering a system design. So now comes your system consideration. So here the same thing what we had discussed now. So while considering a system, what are the factors we need to look into? As I said earlier, it's the wavelength which you are going to use transmit for transmission, and what are the components and in which region it has to operate, whether we have to operate in window 1, window 2, window 3, or something like that, or whether in what range. Okay, yesterday we discussed about a microscopic sorry microwave photonics. So whether if you have a higher frequency, should we go with microwave photonics type or regular type, like that. So once we decide the wavelength, next we need to we have to correlate with the respect to the performance of the system. So like with respect to the transmitter, the receiver, okay, and also with respect to your fiber. So like that you need to see. So first we have to select the photodetector. We have to choose an optical source, and we have to see this how the source, how far it is going to be transmitted over the fiber which we have selected in that fiber. So here we need to use an amplifier, that is the photo detectors, and when it boosts and what level we have to boost, what is the power level of your optical signal. So that is with respect to this wavelength and all those things. Next, finally, by choosing detector, we have to see. So that is what already we have discussed. Next, finally, next comes your link power budget. So, what is this link power budget? So, this is an optical power loss model. Okay, so this is an optical loss power model. For optimizing this link power budget, so this optical model is we need to go through. You have to go through this so that we'll be able to understand this. Okay, let IC, IC, or this is here it is the LC. So here you can take it as an LC only. Sorry, LC. It denotes the losses that occur at the connector. So anyhow, even though we have a transmitter and a source being connected, so that needs to be connected, right? So there you will be using connectors, right? So later on you'll be splicing, see, because you won't be having a single fiber to the desired length, to the desired length. So you need to splice in between in order to extend and to reach the distance required. So LSB denotes the losses that takes place at the splices, and alpha F denotes the losses that occurs in fiber. So any fiber, for example, may be due to so many factors that we had discussed earlier. There we come across so many losses. Fine. So this alpha F denotes the losses in the fiber. Similarly, at the receiving end also, you will be having a splicing connector. So needs to be connected to the receiver. So finally, all the losses from the source, that is the transmitter, to the receiver, you will be having the total loss. If I consider the total loss as PT, so that PT it will be given as 2 times LC, because here you at the transmitter end you will be having one connector, and at the receiving end you will be having one more connector. So these two connectors. Okay, so the losses incurred due to this connector. So it is if it is LC and it is both, if you are using same type, then it is 2 times LC plus alpha F. Alpha F is the loss per fiber. So L is the length of the fiber, plus system margin. Okay, some losses. Okay, that is a system loss. So usually this sort of link it here we achieve with 68 dB while considering your link power budget. So what is this link power budget? So while considering a system, what is the signal strength that you are going to send and what is the signal strength that you are going to receive? You have to analyze before implementing it real time. So we have to analyze and study so that we have to plan. As we plan for a project, similarly here also you need to plan and see that you take or select a particular transfer source and a particular receiver and also the type of cable. Not only cable, even you have to think of what is the spacing technique that need to be deployed and what is the connector type that you have to select. What is the connector type that you need to look into? So like this you need to see many more things, right? Okay, let's next. Next is the rise time budget. So what is this rise time budget? What is this rise time budget? So this rise time budget analysis, it is a method or this method it gives us to determine the what is the dispersion limit. What is the as it is going to give the dispersion limit of your optical fiber. This is a very important information for initial system design. So this rise time budget because you will be knowing about the what are the dispersion limit. Okay, so total rise time of a fiber link is the root sum square of rise time of each contributor to the pulse rise time degradation. That means each thing will be so T system. So that is the overall will be equal to each contributor that is T R1, R2, R3 like that. So Ti you can consider otherwise. So T system will be equal to T1 TR1 square T R2 square TR3 square like that. So it will be summation of I equal to 1 to n TRI square R1 R2 to the power of 1. That is whatever that is been written, it is in the form of summation. That's all. That's all. So the basic thing, the basic four elements which significantly limits the system speed, basically they are the transmitter rise time. So that I have mentioned here. Before that, okay, let me discuss this thing. So the link components must be switched fast enough, and the fiber dispersion must be low. As you all know, these components here, the switching should be very fast, and so that and also at the same time, fiber dispersion should be very low, so that we can meet the what is the requirements of our bandwidth requirement, so that it can be application for a suitable system, and it can be assured by developing a rise time budget. So as the light source and detector has a finite time to inputs. So these things we will explain later, or it is already been discussed. So do not affect the system. So here it says connector, couplers, and splitters do not affect system speed. They need not to be considered in rise time budget. So in rise time budget, you need not to consider, but they appear in the link power budget. See here, your connector spaces, it is not going to affect your rise time budget, whereas it is going to appear in the link power budget that we are discussed. So basic four element which is going to contribute to the rise time are the transmitter rise time, the group velocity dispersion rise time, Okay, that is TGD, and the modal dispersion rise time of the fiber, and finally receiver rise time. So the total overall it is given by T system is equal to T Tx square plus T mod square T GVD square plus TRx square. So that is what the four types which we had mentioned here. There is a transmitter side, group velocity, that is the second one, and the modal dispersion time, this is mod, and the finally receiver rise time. So rise time due to modal dispersion. Again, this rise time due to this modal dispersion, this is given with respect to T mod is equal to 440 by Bm. Bm, which is equal to 440 L cube by V naught. So Bm is the bandwidth, whereas L is the length, Q is the parameter which ranges between 0.5 and 1. Depends upon the selection of the material. Fine. And B naught. B naught is a bandwidth of 1 kilometer. So rise time due to the group velocity dispersion. Group velocity dispersion. It is given by d square. Is not there. D square lambda tau lambda square into L square. Where? Okay, where this tau lambda is the half power spectral width of the source, D being the dispersion, and L being the length of the fiber. Okay, receiver front end time, it is again given by with this expression TRx, which is equal to 350 by BRx. Okay, BRx will be TDB minus bandwidth of the receiver. So finally, this equation, it can be rewritten as T system is equal to 2Tx 440 L cube by B naught plus 350 by BRx. So R times in R in nanosecond. So finally, the system bandwidth which is given by bandwidth is equal to 0.35 divided by T system. Okay, so the system bandwidth, it will be given by 0.35 by T sys. Next is line coding in optical links. So what is this line coding in optical links? As you all know, this line coding, I need not to tell much because already we have studied so many things. So in these textbooks, only these three have been studied. So NRZ, RZ, and phase encoded. Okay. So you all know. I will not go through once again. So yeah, I'll share this. You can go through. So what are the features of RZ? I think error detection, error correction also I think you have gone through, right? ARQ, huh?
Yes, sir.
Others? Should I go ahead with that? Are you guys there? 41 members, yeah, 40 members are there. But no one responds. Only one fellow is responding. Others, I think you people need not to, or maybe you are not having your breakfast. I feel. All of you had your breakfast or not? No
Yes, sir.
response.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No sir ante Anubhav. Okay. Though that's why people are not. Okay. Fine. Anyhow, you need to interact with me, so it will be good, and I'll feel happy if you discuss or if you interrupt me or if you ask questions or if you say something in between. Otherwise, what I feel that is simply I'll be saying blah 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 something. So instead, if you in between if you intervene, that would be fine for me. Okay. Anyhow, this coding and all this it's fine. This error correction method you all are studied. If not, I'll pick up in the next class. Next class, within one class, another 7 slides are there, which I'll be covering in the next class, and I'll finish off this. Is that fine? Okay. Now I wanted to talk to you all. So many of you are not